bunch of young folks here this morning. It's good to see everyone. Happy Grandparents' Day. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hannah Green, like she said. I am the development prefect this year. I am also a senior, and I have been attending Rocky Bayou since 8th grade. Now, today is a very special day for every single one of you grandparents. I myself feel very honored and privileged because my grandpa came here today, all the way from Wisconsin. Grandpa, can you just stand up so everyone knows who you are? Now, Grandpa, I'm going to talk about Grandma this morning, if that's all right with you. Now, my grandma, she passed away in February, and she really meant a lot to me, and I would just like to take this time to tell you a few things about her. My grandma, she had many gifts and talents. She was a wonderful cook. She had great patience, and she was just amazing at giving advice. Perhaps one of her greatest gifts was the gift of prayer. I always called her my prayer warrior. You see, I stress about everything all the time, but she would pray for me each and every day. Once I knew she was praying for a specific issue in my life, I would automatically stop stressing over it. A Bible verse that reminds me of my grandma is in James 5:16, and it says, "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." She also wrote an essay when she was 14 for her confirmation class about prayer. Now, how many of you know 14-year-olds out there writing essays about prayer? I don't know too many. I want to read you an excerpt from the essay. She wrote, "We should pray everywhere, especially in private." She then quoted 1 Timothy 2:8, which says, "I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath or doubting. We are to pray at all times." She then quoted and said, "Pray without ceasing." Grandma was a woman of commitment. She made me feel very special. You see, every single year she would come and visit me on my birthday. Even when I lived in Arizona and Baltimore, that didn't matter. She would come. It just made me feel so special. She understood the power of perseverance. You see, my grandma had many physical problems. She had heart problems. She was legally blind. She was partially paralyzed from a stroke. However, she had the greatest attitude I have ever seen in anyone. I never once heard her complain, and I think that just says a lot. She taught me to persevere no matter what I faced. She lived Philippians 4:13, which says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." The thing that I probably admire the most about my grandmother was the fact that she put others before herself. On the day she died, we received a phone call in the middle of church, and they said, "Grandma only has 2 hours to live." So my mom obviously rushed to the airport, but she couldn't get an immediate flight. However, my grandma fought 10 hours to see my mom one last time. Before my mom arrived and saw her at the hospital, everyone looked her in the eyes and said, "Jeannie, it's okay. You can pass away. Go be with Jesus." But no, she held on. Finally, my mom got there, and she looked my grandma in the eye, and she said, "Mom, I love you. You are the best mom ever. Now go to heaven. Go be with Jesus." As soon as she said that, my grandma closed her eyes. She went to heaven. She listened to my mom. 1 Corinthians 13 also describes my mom perfectly, and I want to read that to you. It says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." You see, my grandma was a perfect model grandparent. I shared this with you guys today because every single one of you guys means so much to us grandchildren. We look up to you in more ways than one. You guys are just awesome. So I want you to enjoy this day, and just welcome to Grandparents' Day, and just enjoy the rest of the day with your grandchildren. Thank you for being here.